Hi friends, this is Dr.Boparai and I'm from Dr. Boparai's Classical Homeopathy. So today I'm going to discuss some interesting facts about homeopathy and that is classical homeopathy. So some important points, some in-depth study of homeopathic materia medica and some particular drugs which are of prime importance in homeopathy. So today, I would like to tell you something about very important drug in homeopathy, that is Veratrum Album. Okay, so this drug Veratrum Album is made from white hellebore. Okay, so mother tincture is prepared and then it is potentized to different potencies. So the most important point about Veratrum Album that I would like to tell you, we have. So I'm not going to just enumerate the symptoms, but I would like to tell you the things which I have seen in patients, which I have counted in patients, the symptoms of Veratrum album, so that enrich your experience and that help you learn the materia medica in altogether different way. Okay. So Veratrum album, if you see, there is one very important thing in Veratrum album, and that is the state of collapse and the state of prostration. Okay. Now this state of collapse. So if you see the reason behind this state of collapse in Veratrum album, then it comes because of two factors. One is the acute vomiting, and the another is acute diarrhea, right? So now, if you see the symptomatology of Veratrum album, if you see the symptoms of the Veratrum album, the things which you see in the patient, that there is acute vomiting. A patient will undergo the attacks of vomiting. Maybe he will undergo 10 to 15, 16 to 17 vomiting attacks in a day. And this so much of vomiting results in loss of water and mineral content from the body. And this ultimately leads to the state of collapse and state of utter prostration. Now, what happens in some patients, you will see that you will find this symptom of vomiting, but in some patients, you will see that this vomiting is also accompanied with the symptoms of diarrhea, that is loose motions. So what patient will undergo, that along with the vomiting he is also undergoing loose motions. Suppose he is going 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, 10 to 11, 12 to 15 vomitings in a day, and at the same time he is suffering from loose motions as well. Now this doubles the effect. So now the vomiting is also happening, and at the same time the loose motion, the diarrhea is also happening. So this drastically reduces the mineral and water content in the body, and this leads to the state of collapse and state of utter prostration, that is, I mean to say. Okay. Now only if I say that there is symptom of vomiting and there is symptom of diarrhea, it will not complete the drug picture in a patient. So along with this, we have to look for the general symptom in the patient. So now the most important general symptom in Veratrum album is, you will see with each and every complaint, the thing associated is cold sweat and craving for cold water or cold things, right? So now a patient is suffering from loose motions, patient is suffering from repeated vomitings. Along with that, you will see that there is cold sweats that patient is countering. So if you are able to find the cold sweat, if you are able to find out the loose motions, the vomiting, this completes the drug picture of Veratrum album in this case. Okay. Now there is another important thing in Veratrum album. I would like to discuss the headache of Veratrum album. Now, if you see the headache of Veratrum album, it is very violent. It's very excruciating in nature, and it is also neuralgic in character. But the point which I have told you, that along with any of the complaint in Veratrum album, if you are able to find the general symptom, and that general symptom is the cold sweat, so the cold sweat will go with each and every symptom of the body that you are going to see in the patient. So if the headaches are associated with cold sweat, then it's sure that this headache is of Veratrum Album. Now another point, important point about the headache of Veratrum Album, that it not only attacks your head, at the same time there is a stiffness of the nape of neck, means that headache travels a bit down and it also affects your neck. So this is the important symptom of headache of Veratrum Album, in which the neck is also affected along with the head. Okay, now one more important point I would like to tell you about the vomiting of Veratrum Album. Now if you see, the patient is lying peacefully, okay, so there is he is not doing any movement of the body, and he is lying still he is lying in a peaceful state, not doing any course, not doing anything. The vomiting will not come at that moment. As soon as he will attempt to do anything, as soon as he will do a slight movement of the body, the vomiting will come. So this symptom you will also see in the boric materia medica, that vomiting comes on movement. So this symptom actually I have seen in many patients. So means if they are lying peacefully, there is no movement of the body, they are not doing any core, they are not doing any movement of the body, there will be no vomiting at all. But as soon as patient tries to do something, as soon as patient tries to sit, or there is any movement associated in the body, the vomiting will suddenly come. Okay, so this is the symptom associated with the vomiting. So this state of excess vomiting and excess diarrhea leads to the state of collapse that we see in the case of Veratrum Album. Okay, so in the next video I would discuss about some cases which I have seen for a Veratrum Album, and that will enrich your knowledge. So this was all about for today's video. See you in the next video. Thanks.